But there's something that I wanted y'all to hear.
No, it's fine. Wow, I don't think we needed to hear that. Nah, it's just
So there's something that I want. Okay, so Charlie or Penguins,
MoistCr1TiKal, yeah.
MoistCr1TiKal,
Yeah.
and
Sneako. I've been watching that. I've been keeping up with
so
that.
they've talked again.
Yeah.
A second time?
No. They had like one long conversation.
I saw it. I watched it.
You
the whole
watched it?
thing.
Okay.
I watched the whole thing.
Okay, so you watched that. So the part that I thought, and I like timestamped it for myself in his comments.
Yeah.
That I thought when he answered the question, what do you think is the biggest problem with all of the youth in today? And it's outside of just the youth. I thought the way he described that answer, he's pretty much summarized and said echo chambers.
Yeah.
Echo chambers, how everybody is forced to pick a side.
Yeah.
But I'll play it for y'all so you can hear it. But I just thought it was like.
And who's saying this again? Sneako?
This is.
If I think that's the biggest problem facing the youth today. And I didn't really get a clear answer in there because he kept switching kind of rapidly. My answer is no. But I do think the biggest problem that's plaguing the youth today is the fact that kids feel forced to choose sides so early in life before their brain has even had a chance to develop. Now, whether you want to subscribe to one side of the political spectrum or the other, you are always being forced down one path in this level of tribalism where you always have to blindly support that side and hate everything and everyone on the other. I think that shit sucks fuck. I think that's a horrible way of living life, and it leads to a situation that we see a lot now where people aren't friends with someone that don't share every single thing in common. For example, I have friends that I disagree with on many things, but we're still friends at the end of the day because we do have commonality in like personality and we have fun together. We don't need to agree on everything, and I wouldn't want that. I don't like echo chambers. And regardless of if you're on the woke side or the anti-woke side, you put yourself in an echo chamber no matter what. And both sides eat you alive if you so much as critique something about that side. It seems like it's constantly discouraged to think for yourself. You have to be fed your thoughts, whether that's being fed the thoughts that Sneako hates or being fed the thoughts that Sneako champions. It's always being fed your own idea, their ideas, and then you try and adopt them as your own, and any kind of deviation from that is frowned upon in the communities. And in fact, if you decide you don't want to go down either of those paths and you try and like take information from both sides and form your own perspective, you get insulted for being a centrist. What is the meme? Enlightened centrist? There is no winning. The only winning move is not to play. That is what I feel the biggest problem is for the youth, is forcing them to make these decisions where they have to play for one team or the other for their whole fucking life. And then regardless of which side you choose to go to, you still get eaten alive by members of the same community if you're somewhat out of line or thinking too hard for yourself. That's what I think the biggest problem is with growing up with social media and Twitter constantly plaguing people's minds.
So
he's on point.
I personally 100% agree.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Bruh.
That's why I like ABBA so much. I feel like he's the same way.
Yeah.
ABBA's a little, I feel like I do like ABBA. It's centrist. Like,
yeah, it's centrist.
They're centrist content.
Centrist. Yeah.
I feel like ABBA is like, the only thing that I don't like about ABBA sometimes is that like he's just like, I don't see him as a centrist. I just see him as somebody that's trying to bring the manosphere down a lot of the times too. Like,
really, I see him as
like I don't see him as like somebody that like is always looking. He has all his attacks are targeted into one area most of the time.
Nah,
based off what I've seen.
I disagree with that, but I
watch
watch
all
his
of their
content more though.
content.
So
yeah, I don't watch.
Yeah.
I mean, most of their content, but it's like at least recently, at least. But it's like
there are times
I feel like I don't know enough of what he believes either. I just hear him like going at the same points most of the time.
No, he believes that like what he's saying. Like most people are like most people anywhere you go are like truthfully kind of in the center. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like the large majority, he believes like the large majority of people are truthfully in the center, and we're so hyper focused on these extremes when we see things because it's being forced. Like kind of what he was saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like we have like a wrong, like a misconception of how reality actually is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think
that's like one of his things is like we have like a misconception of actual reality.
ABBA?
Yeah, like even when we look at studies and all sorts of things. But I mean, because of like even in the manosphere space, and I agree with you, he does do a lot of like jabs at them, like even in his regular
Yeah, I don't
content.
think the content's not balanced to me.
Okay.
His content is not balanced. So it's like, I feel like if I go to his page, it's pretty much just attacking people from the manosphere, which is cool because most of the time I agree with what he's saying and he's pointing out clown shit. But that's the only thing that I can go. I feel like right now, if I go to @and Preach, I'm gonna watch them clowning somebody from the manosphere, and that's majority.
That's
pretty much
interesting
it.
because
Yeah,
I've
it's
seen a
interesting you say
video.
that, but go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I've seen a video from this guy named FD Signifier, this black dude with dreads. It's crazy because now I'm kind of confused myself because I've seen him lump and Preach into the manosphere.
Yeah, that's
because they've been on Fresh and
Yeah.
Fit and
Yeah.
all that stuff. So I wasn't really sure. Like, so he clowns it. I've never seen him clown
It's
it.
not that he clowns it. Like, so, like, yeah, he'll go. Yeah, he does clown it, but it's like, he's like, he don't fuck with the red pillars, and it's like he doesn't fuck with the same people that I don't really fuck with, like the Fresh and Fits, because they be doing too much.
Yeah.
It's like it's one thing to believe this, have it backed by like your religious beliefs and things of that nature, but you're like also OD. Like you literally only find women who are uneducated to scream on, bark on, kick
Well,
on,
that's-
stuff like that. So it's like, but I just
That's one of his biggest critiques of the red pill is that the extremes are making the overall point like invalid. Like the overall point of what the red pill, like the true red pill community is about, is being like washed out by the idiots like Sneako and Fresh and Fit. Like these guys in that space have too much
them
voice.
grifters.
Huh?
Like I think like they're being,
I've heard that.
they're saying like there's a lot of grifters in the game right now that are just
and it's like the people who really like believe in like the men who believe in like self-empowerment and like being better and like, you know what I'm saying, focusing and knowing that like no matter how you feeling, you still got to work hard, you got to do these things, and the real like strong values that come out of the red pill mindset and the community aren't being like pushed at all because of the dumb content that these guys are putting out. And
they're getting the
like,
whole
heads
class
of
in
it.
trouble.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
you would
that's
think
like a
that
big
he
critique.
would take those moments in those videos when he's calling out one to stand on his, but he doesn't. He just points out what other people are doing wrong a lot
I'm gonna
of
have
the
to
time.
send you some stuff, bro, because he does.
I
But
watch all the videos, so you know, like I feel like it's pretty clear. Like I just feel like when I go to his page, I know what I'm going for. Like I'm going to hear him critique somebody from the manosphere.
But he
That's about
doesn't.
it.
He doesn't provide any like alternative where it's just like, yeah, he's
there's not
talking
that
about
much
this
variety
bullshit
in the
and all that
content.
stuff. Yeah, all this bullshit. Yeah, they're saying all that's bullshit and how to get women and all that stuff. What you
Right.
really
I
need
just
to
don't
do
think there's that
is
much
blah, blah.
variety. In
They
the
have like
content.
3 niches. They have like talking about that, then they talk about like the cut, like the button, you know, and
That's
cut,
the ones
button,
I've seen
the
most
Jubilee.
of.
Yeah, they do
yeah.
that a lot. Like they do
Yeah,
that a lot.
that
The
show,
house-
that show,
Yeah,
that
they-
reality
that's
show.
like
where
a
they
big part of
dated
their
Oh,
each other.
the cut show, the
Yeah,
whole the blind.
So they
yeah,
like
I've seen
react
some
to
of
that
those.
bunch. They react to a bunch of shit. It's not.
Yeah.
just
I've seen them.
Yeah, it's not just manosphere stuff. So
Yeah.
I can share some stuff with you. I kind of want to now that you think that. But
Yeah, I've seen that in my feed, so I've watched them like clown that show.
overall, though, I do agree with your point of saying that they do still cover that a lot. But there's in my opinion, there's a lot that they cover as well because I've seen them cover more things, and
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen him explain his stance on the red pill a few times as to why he would say a few things.
Yeah, I've definitely seen his position.
And I don't want to sit here and just be a dick rider. I'm not trying to like just completely ride this nigga shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah.
just saying in general, I think your point is a little too harsh because I've seen them do other things.
I have 2. I'm just saying what I feel like I've seen majority of.
Okay, I got you.
So I've
That's
seen,
fair.
but we started
fair.
with MoistCr1TiKal.
Yeah.
If I was to put them
That's fair.
side by side, I'm getting way more variety watching MoistCr1TiKal's
I believe
page
that.
than I'm watching Aber. And
I believe
Preach's
that.
page. So
And
that's pretty much what I'm saying.
And I'm
So,
just getting on MoistCr1TiKal now because I haven't
Yeah,
watched him.
so,
quite as
like-
long.
This is the first time I've seen MoistCr1TiKal even talk about this because
right.
He doesn't
right.
normally.
yeah, he's a gamer first and foremost because
Yeah.
he
Right.
became big on Twitch and all that shit. So he's a gamer first and foremost, and the way he like came up on he just kind of just magically came up on my feed one day and I just checked it out. And
He
you know how
always
YouTube
kind of popped up on my feed.
Hey,
but I
what's
don't
going
know.
on, man?
Yeah, I didn't know why he was popping up on my feed.
because
So, like, if
because he
was
does it's talking about the bare minimum, like he barely does like he doesn't do any special.
his scripts are crazy though.
Yeah, he doesn't do any special,
Thumbnails.
like for
yeah,
videos,
yeah,
like
yeah.
the graphics on the
thumbnail,
video,
the thumbnail,
thumbnails.
yeah.
He doesn't do any special. It's just
Nothing
him at the
special.
mic.
Just him, yeah.
The
His script is 10 out of 10.
the description of the title of the video is not
Minimal.
even.
It's
He won't
minimal.
even say what he's going to talk about in the video.
Right.
Like, he'll just be like, "Well, this was stupid." And
Yeah.
that's the name of it. And then,
His scripts are crazy,
get
yeah.
I
1
just
million
watched the
views.
video that said I finally watched it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
and
I
I'm like,
clicked-
watch
I
what?
clicked on it, and it was he finally watched the Twilight series and was going in about how bad they were.
Yeah.
He's like, I didn't realize how good bad they were.
Yeah.
So it's like, but it was like, yeah,
Yeah.
and shit like that though.
Yeah, so that's why he's like a curious case, but I think he probably got to that point because of the gaming. You know, like I
Yeah.
said, he's in the
Yeah.
gaming mostly, but then
yeah.
he'll also review movies and give them a moist meter. You know, I'll give him like a 7
His
moist.
voice is crazy.
Yeah. He has a very like
His script is his scripts
Yeah,
be crazy.
it is.
Though.
It
Like,
really is.
yeah.
The way he speaks. That
He
shit,
has a very dry wit.
yeah,
You
that
know,
shit
like
is-
he's just like, yeah, this shit was
yeah, I
so
think that
hard.
shit sucks fuck.
Yeah, it makes
like,
me.
what? Sucks
The way
fuck.
he
Like, who
talks,
says that?
yeah.
Like,
It's just his personality, like the way he
Yeah.
talks. He's just, I like the way his jokes sometimes it just be like, yeah,
Right.
yeah, this made me come 10 times in one moment, and, you know, and he'll just
Yeah.
like say some ridiculous shit in a very calm way.
But I feel like I've seen him pop up on, even though I only subscribed to him maybe about a month ago. For years, I've seen him pop in my feed at least.
Magically,
Like,
I
just
never
magic.
watched it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
You
that's
know
how
what
I
I'm saying?
found
He's
him.
always just randomly popped up where I've seen this dude for years.
I've seen it before. I just never clicked on
So
the
that's
shit.
why I was like, and that's going back to where I was like, I feel like even though he might have a lane, it's like the variety's all over the place
Oh,
too.
no, yeah,
because he
that's-
keeps
that's
fucking
it.
popping up, even though I've never been subscribed with him.
Because it depends on what we're into. Because, like I say, now that I think about it, I'm like, okay, I watch a lot of movie reviews and movie commentary. He talks about movies sometimes, so I'm sure I'm here watching this video, and I'll look to the right and see his face in the boxes
Right.
on the side because he's talking about that movie too. So then
Right,
I'll just
right,
go over
right.
there. So I'm like, oh, okay, so that's how I probably stumbled upon
that's why
him.
he's always kind of flashed up there every so
Yeah,
often.
talked about a movie I was
Whenever I
interested in.
started getting into the red pill or the manosphere stuff,
He
when
probably talked about
he
that.
He talked about that. So then he started popping up movies. He started talking about that.
Yeah, so
If
he's
I ever Googled a game,
diversifying.
So yeah, it's all been diversified or whatever.
So maybe
But
that's how he did it. Yeah.
I subscribe to, but I subscribe to Abba and Preach, but their stuff really only pops up in my timeline when they're talking about like when they're chopping somebody's head off in the red in
Okay.
the manosphere.
Okay, I see a lot of like the cut videos a lot. That's
Yeah,
where,
that's the
like,
one I
they-
see.
I saw. I see him
so it's
react
like
to that more.
most of the time, if they're chopping somebody's head off in the manosphere, I'm gonna see that.
I can see
video.
that.
Because
for sure, for sure.
maybe because you have that's the videos that YouTube knows of their content that
Yeah,
you've
like, I wanna see
watched.
somebody
Yeah,
get-
yeah,
I wanna
yeah,
see
yeah.
somebody
But
get
my
killed.
YouTube-
Granted, they're good at that shit.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
Like,
Granted,
I'm
they're
trying
good
to
at
see
that
somebody's
shit.
But
head
my
get chopped
YouTube,
off.
like they know that I've clicked on Abba and Preach when they were watching
the
clowning
dating
game
shows.
shows
Jubilee.
and
Yeah.
shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
and
gotcha.
all that shit. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
shit
reality
be funny,
shows and
yo.
all that shit. You know,
We're
so
almost at 2
yeah.
million subscribers too.
Yeah, yeah, they
We're
are.
almost at 2 million subscribers.
one-
But we did kind of lose the point of like why I wanted.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Go
Sorry
on.
about that.
But
Echo
that
chamber
whole
piece.
I mean,
being forced to
yeah, I
Pick a side.
being
100%.
forced to pick a side,
Yeah,
that whole thing in general, bro, I feel like until I heard it explained that way, I feel like that's been one of my biggest issues with dating as well too. In the last year or two or so, because in the last year or two or so, I've gotten more to the point where I'm not really changing too much for anybody. I don't give a fuck how good you look, whatever. I'm really
Right.
not doing too much change for somebody. Of course, there's a certain level of compromising that I'm willing to do, but it's not like somebody else say the correct level is 50% compromising. I'm willing to go 25, 30. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's only so much I'm doing or whatever, right?
Yeah.
But I just feel like that is one of the biggest things where it's like, when I'm either in dating or I'm just talking to people, bruh, it's like people nowadays really can't wrap their minds around communicating with somebody who doesn't agree with them on every single thing in life.
no, you're
And
at
it's-
100%
And
correct.
it's so weird to me because just our friend group, bro, we've never agreed on 100% everything.
Yeah.
Ever.
For the last
Yeah.
15, 20 years that we've known
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah. And it might
You
get
know?
hot too. You
And-
know, like it
yeah.
might get hot and heated.
Yeah.
But at the
Every
end of
now
the
and
day,
then
we
there's, like,
remember.
a argument about something, but it's not often. But like even when
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
happens, most times we're able to discuss shit and still move along with the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
because
it's-
we sorry, but it's just we just understand that at some point it's just it becomes a agree to disagree situation and let's move
Right.
on. Yeah.
But that don't change who you. I fucking know who you are. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
yeah.
We
And
just
it's-
disagree on whatever this is, and that's
Yeah,
it.
and it just seems so crazy, and it's like when I heard that again, like sometimes you be feeling that's how I felt
Yes.
when Kevin Samuels
Yeah.
popped up. I'm like, oh, this nigga is articulating everything that I've ever
How I
felt.
feel, yeah.
Yeah, he's always
articulating
articulating.
a lot of shit,
So when
yeah.
that part that when then he was saying when Moist was articulating that, I was like, that's been my issue with just people recently, where
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
like, and I'm the type, I'm not gonna entertain it. Like, if that's how they operate, I didn't realize so many people's friends groups were so like
piggyback,
so-
like love, like
so one-sided, or
one-sided,
so
yeah, yeah.
Like an echo chamber friendships.
yeah, I didn't realize there were so many echo chamber friendships, or even we can take relationships out of it, just friendships. I'm
Yeah.
like, because we've never had that. You know, like literally, like
Yeah.
all of our friends, like we've all disagreed about something, but
Yeah.
we've all been friends for
Still.
10 plus years.
Still.
Because we have
Yeah.
other things in common as well. You know,
Yeah.
it's not
That's
just
what he was saying too.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
and it comes down to we looking past. This is just one topic, like
Yeah.
Facts.
character flaw. It's not a character thing.
It's
You
not
know
a
what
character thing
I'm
at all.
saying? Like, it's not a character. Like, I feel like character flaw things might be
Yeah.
more things, but I feel like we kind of vetted each other on
that already.
character flaws.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like, these are just opinionated things, but yeah, it's just strange that like people love to this, and then the part that was really real was like, even if you are on the right side for where you're at, fuck around and say something wrong, they chopping your head up.
Say something out of line
Say
in your
something
own
out of line.
group. Yeah.
People are like in a place right now where it's like they will disown you for your opinion on something.
Oh yes,
Which is fucking
scum of the
weird.
earth.
Yeah.
Scum of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just weird. And it's like, instead of doing that, why don't you take the time to try to at least understand where my point is coming from? Because most times when you do that, you'll, even if you don't agree, you start to see where somebody was coming from. You'll understand how they got there.
Yeah, but nobody's doing that.
Yeah, because
why?
like I feel like social media has destroyed critical thinking. You know, like or has helped destroy critical thinking, because critical thinking is when you're assessing every situation.
Yeah.
You know, like for yourself, and not going on like what your party is or who agrees with what. It's just, does this make sense to me? And just leaving it at that.
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of people is sort of like, and I've heard it said somewhere before, but it was the creator of the Fox News channel. I forget his name, but I remember I was watching a documentary about him, and they said that when he was starting the channel, his motto was, people don't want to think, they want to be told what to think.
Right.
Yeah.
And he started that in like in the 90s or some
That's
shit.
true.
So now we've become a future that's based on that. Like, people today, they'll go on to content and watch content to be told what to think about a certain topic or a
right.
situation. And then they'll be like, yeah, I agree with that. And then they'll go out into the world repeating
Preach it.
that thing. So instead of just assessing every situation by themselves. So it's just critical thinking is kind of just a lost art. It's
Is
dead.
that still taught in schools? Because like that was like
I
I think
don't even
being
know
a
if-
big
was
that
it
was a
topic.
big thing.
Yeah.
Like
Was it? I don't
I
remember.
remember
if it
critical
was-
thinking. I remember critical problem solving.
Yeah.
was like big in math.
they
pretty
told you
much.
like you need to learn how to problem solve.
They were
Like,
they
that's
were
a big
pushing
thing.
that shit when I was in school.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah, but when we were like with these, especially with Gen Z now, like from what I hear, like schools are like the most terrible
yeah,
it's
they
ever
are.
been. So
Oh, for real?
What did I just
Yeah.
see? I just saw something like this week, and it was that dude talking about, and he was like, "Let me be clear. This is not just urban areas. He said this is nationwide, all races. It's lower. The education has been low. Like the intelligence or the reading level of the students is down by like 40%.
Oh shit!
Across America,
yeah,
from grades 4 through 8.
That's because everything is video and everything is fucking like.
Yeah, so
and kids have a phone in their pocket, so like, why
Yeah.
pay attention to this lesson when I could just scroll? And
so low key, it's like overall people are stupider, kind of, right?
Yeah.
which is
Yeah,
scary.
absolutely.
Which